So hello friends, now Markets Mojo has started doing IPO analysis purely because of you wanted us to tell you which IPO to subscribe and which one not. I'm happy to inform you that the first IPO that we are analyzing today is Bikaji Foods International. As you know, Bikaji is a very famous brand for bhujia and namkeen. In fact, the promoters have a very rich experience. Why? Because this promoter is Sivratan Agarwal, who has promoted Bikaji, is a grandson of the founder of Haldiram. And we all know Haldiram is very known for the ethnic namkeen in India. Now, what this company does actually, Bikaji has a very similar kind of business what Haldiram does. It sells bhujia, it sells namkeens, it sells packaged sweets, it sells papads and so on and so forth. And if you look at the revenue, almost 70% of the revenue or 71% of the revenue comes from bhujia and the namkeen. Now, bhujia is a very typical business. It's more a popular product in the northern part of the country. People hardly consume in the southern part or the western part of the country. And if you look at the business profile of Bikaji, 71 or 72% of the revenue comes from 3 states. Rajasthan, from which this Bikaji belongs to, Bikaner, Assam, and the Bihar. And that clearly gives an idea. And if you look at the revenue bifurcation, 70% of the revenue comes from the urban market. And that's how the business of Bikaji is. And let's look at how the company has performed. Company for the March 2022 reported sales of near about 1,600 crore. As compared to March 2021, it was 1,300 crore. So there has been a growth in the business of the company. Now the problem is that company is given only financial data from March 2020, March 2021 and March 2022. We don't have a history beyond that in the prospectus. And March 2020 is not a good base to compare with. Why? Because it was impacted by the COVID. So we don't know what rate of growth the company has been growing in terms of its top line and its bottom line. Let's look at the bottom line. The company profit came down as compared to FY21. In FY21, company reported 90 crore profit, but that came down to 76 crore in March 2022. And we all know this industry is very, very competitive. The prices of some of the input costs went up substantially high. And because of this competitive pressure, company could not pass on all the cost to the consumer. Company did mention how it has performed in this financial year for one quarter. That is quarter ended June, where sales went up to 419 crore as compared to 334 crore June 2021, and profit increased to 15.7 crore as compared to 12.4 crore of June 2021. Now this business is seasonal, am I right? So you can't annualize the numbers and say if a company ne X turnover kiya hai, it will become 4X for the full year end. Why? It's a seasonal business. During festive season, products of Bikaji sells more. Now, does it make a sense now to invest in the Bikaji IPO? So let's look at it. Well, the company's bottom line came down for FY 2022 because of competitive pressure. If you happen to listen to the commentary from the FMCG players, they continue to make statement that input costs remain little elevated level. We need to wait and watch what Bikaji is able to report net profit growth in FY 2023. But let's look at how we should value this company. So normally this kind of a business are normally evaluated based on the price to sales. Now this company will have market cap of near about 7,500 crore based on the upper price band. And when you look at the turnover, which was 1,600 crore or so, it gives a market cap sales to ratio of 4.65x. In terms of price to earning, it's very closer to 100. But we should not look at price to earning, we should look at price to sales. And now let's look at what are the other competitive players which are listed are commanding price to sales. We have Pratap Snacks, that diamond wafers, very popular. Let's look at what is the price to sales it is commanding. Only 1.44x. Let's another company called DFM Foods, which has a brand called Cracks and Nutcut, owned by a private equity place called Advent, commanding market cap to sales of 3.19 only. In other words, company commanding a valuation of 4.65 does not leave enough for the retail investors to make money in the IPO. Now one could have given that higher valuation provided company bottom line is growing or about to grow, or his return on equity is very, very high. Unfortunately, even that is not the case. If you look at the return on equity for year ended March 2022, that is FY 2022, it was only 9.5%. We strongly believe, I'm not talking about the listing gain, but there is a high probability that this company will not create wealth for the investors in a medium to long term. And hence, we believe one should not subscribe to the IPO of Bikaji International.